Good morning, class. Welcome in. We're going to have our fourth discussion on our second unit. We've taken a look at the kickoff and the start of exploration. We start seeing the New World being met by the Old World, and we start seeing some of these inventions that are going to improve navigation. We've taken a look at Spain's conquest of the Americas and the devastating results from those conquests. We've taken a look at the Atlantic slave trade and the horrific conditions that Africans had to endure in the Middle Passage, and then also once they reached the Americas with life on the plantations and farms. Today, we're going to take a look at essentially other European nations that are going to join the party, and we're going to start seeing a lot of these nations start to set up shop in North America. So let's start and get the ball rolling here. Okay. All right, so understand this. Spain's successful colonization efforts in the Americas did not go unnoticed. So what does this mean? As I mentioned, it was open market. You had tons of competition. So we see England, France, and the Netherlands are going to get into the act, and they're going to compete for land, resources, and power. All right, many explorers from these regions sought out to find a northwest passage that would lead them from North America to Asia. So again, Asia is still on the mindset, but again, instead of finding an accessible route, the English, French, and Dutch are going to establish colonies in North America. So explorers are going to establish New France. All right, in 1524, an Italian in the service of France, so a lot of times, again, you might represent one nation but work for another, would discover New York Harbor. His name was Giovanni de Verrazano. Okay, and de Verrazano was able to find New York Harbor. 10 years later, the Frenchman Jacques Cartier, all right, discovered a broad river that cut through modern-day Canada. All right, Cartier named it St. Lawrence River. All right, he would push further into the interior and found the city of Montreal. So he's going to create and develop the city of Montreal. Okay, in 1608, Samuel de Champlain, all right, sailed up the St. Lawrence River and founded Quebec. Okay, this would become the base for the French Empire in the New World. The French would also move into the Great Lakes area and also down the Mississippi. Jacques Marquette and Louis Joliet would discover these areas respectively. All right, Sieur de La Salle would explore all the way down the Mississippi River and found Louisiana in honor of King Louis XIV. So what we're seeing is, again, essentially French moving into the interior of North America, using the waterways, and they're going to start building their new French Empire in the New World. As you can see, there's a map here of New France, and right at the start, France is going to have a ton of territory, even into the Midwestern Plain states. But you see the Great Lakes region, you see what is now Montreal and Quebec, you see what is New Orleans. Okay, these are all French, areas. They're French cities that are being developed, and they're going to colonize these regions. Now, England is also going to join the party as the French are establishing a vast trading network across North America. What they're doing is they're specializing in fur trading. Okay, these fur pelts became very, very luxurious. Okay, whether it be from a beaver or other animals, other rodents, these furs became essentially a high commodity. Okay, the French were invested in making huge profits off of this industry. Beaver pelts became the most desirable of the fur items. Okay, now in 1606, King James of England chartered a company of London investors to reach the New World. They would settle in modern-day Virginia and establish the colony of Jamestown. The start of the colony was a flat-out disaster. Bad weather, inefficient crops, hunger, disease, and skirmishes with Native Americans riddled the English. Okay, this would improve once tobacco was discovered